Good morning, back again. Another day of sales. Not a massive volume of sales going out the door, but some really quite nice books that have been sold and will be shipping out. None of them crazy money or anything, but decent values. So I thought I would just share, and a nice selection of fantasy titles today. Fantasy, sci-fi are really popular if you get the right books and you get them in good condition, because they are the type of books and book series that people will be collecting rather than just picking up for the sake of reading. You will get both, but they're more collectible to the right people rather than anything else. Live stream last night. Thanks very much for everyone that took part in that. Felt that went pretty well. Yeah, I quite enjoyed myself. Getting to chat, go through your questions live as it went along. So we will do that again sometime soon. I've also got another little plan idea about something I want to do next week, but I'll tell you a bit more about that in a minute. Won't be a long video today because I've got a lot to do, and you'll understand why soon enough. Anyway, let's crack through some of the orders and what's going out. First up, we have Neil Gaiman's Norse Mythology, and that sold for £7.65. As ever, all prices are including any postage charged. That's in NW1. Next, we've got a 3 CD set by ELO, Flashback. So I picked this up a week or so ago, and when I picked it up, I thought it was a book, because it was just like, oh, there's a book about ELO, I'll quickly grab that. I didn't look at it at all. Got it back, discovered it was a 3D set. A 3 CD set, not a 3D. What's 3D if you've got it live and you've got that? Oh, it's 3D. Anyway, got it back, was quite pleasantly surprised by what that's potentially worth. That sold for £21. Next, a wee thriller. Camilla Lackberg. So, The Stranger. Yes, I picked up the right one. That sold for £6.94. Camilla, she sells in flurries. I haven't sold one of her books in a while. I've not got a huge number in at the moment, to be fair. But it's one of those. If one sells, I expect I'll get another couple of sales out of her in the next couple of days. So, Camilla Lackberg, as I said, £6.94. Right, so Neil Gaiman is kind of fantasy. The Norse mythology one, kind of mythology, obviously, rather than it just being fantasy, but he kind of goes down that route. But now we have two real fantasy books. Christopher Paolini. We've got Eldest and Brisingar. So he's what was the first one called again? Oh goodness me, Eragon. That's it. They made him. Oh goodness me, I don't see that very often. They made the movie out of that one. I don't know if there was plans for it to become a series or not, but it doesn't seem to have done so. But the two of those, I think that's book 2 and 3. Yeah, books 2 and 3, the two paperbacks, they're going out for £9.12. Dragon Fantasy, very popular. Not read them myself, but one of these days you never know. A non-fiction, cookbooks. Cookbooks are really hard to sell. You've got to get them just right. But I've picked up a couple of nice box sets over the last few months, and they do sell. This, I've had it for 2 or 3 months. It has not been a quick seller by any stretch of the imagination. It's heavy, so it's going to be over 2 kilos when it comes to the posting, but it sold for $15.99. So Nigella Lawson, How to Be a Domestic Goddess and How to Eat box set, $15.99. So that's a nice little sale on its own, even though it is going to be an awful lot more in postage. Right, we've got some fantasy books coming up, but before I do that, here's what I'm thinking about next week. Right, tomorrow, well actually today and tomorrow, I'll be going to pick up some books. I might find 100, 200, 500. I don't know, but I'm going to go out and pick up what I can. They might be all books that sell for £3 on eBay, and there might be a whole load that sell for £3, a few that sell for a 5 or a 10 or 20, 50, £100. I don't know. I won't know until I go out and pick them up and get them back and look them up. And what I would like to do, and there's a couple of reasons behind this, mostly selfish reasons, I'll be perfectly honest. First reason is I don't have space to store them all alphabetically, so that I can find them easily. If I stick another few hundred books into the storage space I've got at the moment, it's going to become really, really difficult to get to anything and get books picked out, which instead of it taking 5-10 minutes in the morning to pick all the orders, it'll end up taking me half an hour. You know, there'll be one book that's slipped into the wrong pile somewhere and I can't find. So I really want to avoid doing that, but I don't want to stop picking the books up whilst they're available. So that's reason number one why I'm considering doing what I'm considering doing next week. Space. Reason number two is the cash flow piece. If I can get stock in and out very, very quickly, I might not make as much money on it. I mean, I don't make a huge amount of money on it anyway. I might not make as much money, but if I could turn that over in a very short period of time, then I can keep getting more and more and potentially doing the same thing again. So that's my two selfish reasons for doing what I'm thinking about. The third thing that comes out of it is from comments from previous videos, from comments in the live chat last night, not everybody is lucky enough to get access to cheap book stock. So what I am thinking is, like, first up, I would love to be able to do Whatnot auctions. They would be great, you know, £1 a book, 50p a book, £2 a book, whatever it is, just get them churned out there. Whatnot don't do books in the UK, so that's not an option. But I think I can do that on YouTube. It's going to take a wee bit of engineering to make sure that there's a system that flows, but what I'm proposing to do, and I'll update you on this over the weekend, tomorrow and over the weekend, is on Monday evening, possibly Tuesday, but I'm planning for Monday, is to run like a live sale here on YouTube. So whatever I've picked up, I will put into, you know, there'll be some single books, some lots by authors, lots by type, whatever it might be, and I'm just going to start everything at like 50p a book. So if it is Ian Rankin paperbacks, if you get them for 50p a book, then there might still be some room in it for you to make profit as it goes along. I will have to take postage into account on top of that. So my thinking is, if I run that as a live sale, kind of quick auction style running things, you can stay for the duration of the entire show, or you can pop in whenever you think you might see something interesting, and then at the end of it all, you'll need to send me your email address details, and I can then send you an invoice for everything that you've bought across the auction and the final postage, which is either going to be like $3.99 if it's under 2 kilos, or $6.49 I think it is if it's over 2 kilos, and that will cover it. So worthwhile picking up lots and lots and lots. I would imagine if anybody's interested in this, there will be a lot of these books that do go for 50p. If I'm getting them for between 20 and 30p, then I can live with that, because it just gets it churned out. But I can't guarantee it, but there are always some really, really good books that I pick up, and again, I will be starting them at 50p regardless of what their kind of eBay or Amazon sale value is. We'll get them started at 50p, and people will have the chance hopefully to pick up something really good for a much better price and still have plenty of room to sell it on or collect it for what would be a good cost. So I never know what I'm going to get when I go out to pick these things up, but I imagine there will be a lot of kind of bread and butter authors, some older books, and something a bit interesting mixed in about it. Signed books, first editions, could be anything. So that's what I'm thinking, that's what I'm planning around. How to make sure people know what they're getting into over the next couple of days as I go out and pick things up. Excuse me, I will put up a list of everything that's going to be available so that people can come in and see exactly what it's going to be. So if there's 100 lots, 200 lots, 300 lots, whatever it is, they'll be up in order, and that's the order they're going to go. And I would expect it to be, you know, seconds to get through items as they go. If after 15 seconds nobody's wanting to pay 50p for that one, it's going to the side and moving on to the next one and just get moved it through quite quickly. So if you see on the list that there's something that you're particularly interested in, you can gauge roughly where that might be in the timeline if we start at, say, for example, 7 o'clock in the evening. So it'll be Monday or Tuesday is the plan to do that. And yeah, we'll see if I can structure it and put it together. If anybody thinks that's an absolutely terrible idea and there's good reasons why I shouldn't do it, please let me know. I've looked through the YouTube rules and all the rest of it, and I can't see any reason why I shouldn't be able to do it. But yeah, let us know if anybody thinks that's a brilliant idea and they can't wait to buy some books. Again, let us know so that I know whether or not I would be wasting my time and yours to get that all put together. Right, enough of that nonsense and on with the sales. I say not a huge number of sales today, so there's only 4 more to go, but first one is a lovely, lovely Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Boulley. A story that grips like a bulldog clip on your heart, a breathtaking, heart-winning thriller. So not a fantasy book. It does look slightly fantastical, but it is. Is this? Yes, it's a signed one. So there we go. Signed, The Firekeeper's Daughter. Genre bending, thrilling and heart wrenching, momentous. A rock the boat book. Yeah, I'm sure this was like an Illumicrate or something. But anyway, that is what it is. Signed, first edition, Firekeeper's Daughter, paperback, squinting at the screen, $13.99. That's sold for, so £10 plus postage. Lovely little sale. Next, not fantasy again, but a self-help book. You know we like our self-help books. They sell well, even though they don't sell quickly. Mindfulness and the Art of Managing Anger. So that's by Mike Fisher. Lovely wee hardcover book. Really good condition. And that sold for £8.24. So lots of nice value sales, even though there's single books in amongst this. A Terry Pratchett. It's an older book, Guards, but it is a much newer edition. Nice and clean. It does have one slight crease on the spine from where it has been read, but otherwise it's in really, really good nick. And that sold for £6.99. And the final fantasy book, J. Kristoff, Empire of the Vampire. And so Harper Voyager, brilliant and unputdownable. I don't think this was a signed one, and it's not a first edition. No, it's just a really, really good looking book. Yeah, why would anybody not want to have that on their shelf? And yes, even the cover, the hardcover itself, is really nicely put together. So yeah, beautiful book, and that sold for £18. £18 exactly. So that one was actually a free post. I have put up a few items lately where they are higher value, so you can include the postage in the cost. So I've stuck this and a few others up as free post titles. Was the... No, it wasn't. I thought maybe the other... What was it called again? Firekeeper's Daughter was the same, but it wasn't. So yeah, a few of these that are worth a bit more, I've put them up with free post on them, just to see if that makes a difference on the listings. I'm charging the same price I would have charged anyway. If I hadn't done it free post, I would have done it for like, 14-15 quid plus postage. But that's what it's going for. It's going for £18. So it's like £1 and a penny over the cover price for a pretty new book. So I'm quite happy with that one there. So yeah, J. Kristoff, Empire of the Vampire. And all of these books came from where I'm picking stuff up today and tomorrow. So that's a wee taster of what may be available and the kind of sales prices you can get on these. The total value of that order, it's not huge, £108 for all of those orders that are going out today. For to eBay, third postage, third to me, so let's say 40 quid kind of gross profit on that. If you had paid even £1 a book for all of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It would have cost a tenner, so you would still be making £20 to £30 for processing 9 orders and getting them out the door. But some of them, you're not going to pay as much as that. You would pay less and make it worth your while. So that's today's orders. Let's see, not a huge volume wise, but some nice, interesting, really nice books going out the door. Gives you an idea of what you should be looking for when you're out there. A wee update on what I'm planning on doing next week to try and put together this kind of live book sale. I appreciate that when you put something on eBay or Amazon, there's potentially millions of people who could see it. If you list on eBay, you can see how many people have looked at your items, and it might be, you get 100,000 impressions in a day if you've got loads and loads and loads and loads of listings. Doing this on YouTube, I think when we did the live stream last night, there was maybe up to 50 people at one time actually on watching, which is absolutely amazing considering it's just me blethering on about books and stuff. But if we can get 20, 30, 40, 50 people coming along to see the sale, then there's not going to be a lot of competition there. So that's why I expect a lot of these I will be able to get out to you guys for a really good price, make it worth your while. If you're paying 50p for a book and it's going to cost you £4 to get it delivered, then you only want to be buying that if it's for yourself and you're collecting it for a very particular reason. If I've got hundreds of books there and you can get 20 of them and pay 50p a book, then it's going to cost you maybe about £15 to get that whole lot out to you, which puts it well under £1 a book. So therefore there is potential profit if you are looking at them to resell there, and you get to pick and choose. You're not just having to take one big lot. You can pick and choose what you're doing. Anyway, I'll see how I can construct that and see how it works. But for now, I'm going to say cheerio. So see ya. Love you. Bye.